our next lesson. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 300. We're on the 300th lesson. Only an instant does this world endure. Only an instant does this world last. This is a cool lesson to take in.
Only an instant does this world endure. This is a thought which can be used to say that death and sorrow are the certain lot of all who come here, for their joys are gone before they are possessed or even grasped. Yet this is also the idea that lets no false perception keep us in its hold, nor represent more than a passing cloud upon a sky eternally serene. And it is this serenity we seek, unclouded, obvious and sure, today.
We seek your holy world today. For we, your loving sons, have lost our way a while. But we have listened to your voice and learned exactly what to do to be restored to heaven and our true identity. And we give thanks today. The world endures but for an instant. We would go beyond that tiny instant to eternity. Thank God. We can do it now. We can go beyond this tiny instant right now. And into eternity.
And even in this workbook lesson, Jesus says, that there's a way the ego would take this. From an ego perspective, that's a sad thought. Everything will pass away, and as he says, death and sorrow are the certain lot of all who come here. I mean, that's pretty grim. But that's the ego's use of time. And we can shift from that into the joy that nothing here really adds up to much. But the truth of what we are adds up to a lot. It's the only thing that adds up at all. And I think Jesus shares this because generally when we come into the thought that, the impermanence of the world, that nothing here lasts, that's an upsetting or sad kind of thought. But as we really practice it, it frees us. It frees us from all the ways that we're hooked into the world, that we are making the world important. We're saying if the world looks this certain way, then that's where my happiness is. as we really start to get and even start to experience what Jesus is telling us, that this is actually a dream. This world is a dream. Then we just naturally find calmness, even in the face of upsetting images, even things that we would call tragedies. We become more and more like this serene sky he's talking about. It is this serenity we seek, unclouded, obvious, and sure today. And we let the clouded perception just blow by. Just like one of those little clouds on a mostly sunny day, we can just, sometimes you can just watch the cloud go. It's very calm. And the practice is that when that cloud seems to be something happening in this life we think is us, can we watch the cloud go just like that? Well, we can, but sometimes we have to persist. We have to think of it like that again and again. Maybe we have to say to Jesus, oops, I got stuck in the cloud. I believed the cloud was real. But I don't want to keep believing that. Help me. Help me to remember it's just a cloud. And more we just know that. We know that the cloud has no real substance, can be passed through easily. More and more we know that the light never dimmed just because the cloud came. And then at some point the cloud just dissipates, just melts away. We've probably all seen that too. Cloud in the sky doesn't rain, it doesn't, it doesn't really seem to do anything, but it will literally just dissolve, will dissipate into the air. And when we bring the cloud to love, they all do that. In the end, every cloud dissipates, melts away. When there's a cloud going on in your life, in your mind, remember, a cloud is for dissipating. A cloud is for melting away. This is what it's for. And the way that we permit that to happen is we remember to keep handing it over. Because it's our holding on that gets in the way of the dissipating. So what is this cloud? What is this upset for? It's for healing. It's for a miracle. It's for undoing and release. So if there's anything in your mind is asking to be shared, now is the time. Lori.
Morning.
Morning.
Yeah, thank you for your words this morning. I feel like, I just spoke yesterday morning and this morning, you just spoke to exactly where I'm at. And I do want to put some things on the altar. As you were speaking about the clouds, I was thinking if the cloud is my belief in illness, I just want that to dissipate. There's two things I want to share and they feel linked. Yeah, the kids have had bugs. Wife has been really ill with a bug. She was supposed to go back to school today, but the school's on strike, so she hasn't gone. She came home yesterday ill, and I'm feeling ill, like stomach bug and all cold. And I've took it back to my mind, and I can see that there is a decision for it. The thing that was revealed was like, I think I can rest. So I've looked after poorly children, and there's some belief that I feel sad. Yeah, that if I'm ill, there'll be less demands and I can rest. So I want to put that on the altar. But it also feels linked to this loop of the school situation. And it feels like I feel like we've had a breakthrough. Like stuff has been coming up consistently, but we're handling it so differently, which feels lovely. It still feels quite challenging though, because it's brand new. Like it's taken a lot of vigilance. It doesn't even feel like effort, but it just feels like, a lot of conscious awareness is required. And I'm noticing the moments when the temptation is to respond, like take something personally. But now I feel like I'm in a similar sort of loop with the kids go to school. So they've had time off because they were hating it. It's almost like they made themselves ill. They made herself ill because she didn't want to go. And then get them back to school and come home ill, and it feels like this. And I want to look at it in my mind. I want to say, I'm ready. Show me what this is in my mind so it can be, the cloud can dissipate. Yeah, I want to know that I can choose rest without needing to make myself ill. That's it.
Yeah, it's about learning to rest in God. That's what it is about.
Yeah.
Is this, like Jesus says, to this world is very tired. It's very, very tired. And it's because the mind that bought into it is very tired and sick.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. It feels exhausting and then I go into a place of confusion, like, well, I'm handing it over, but then it is me that has to get them out of bed and actually get them to, yeah, it's probably not fully trusting in that handing over. I've still got practical things.
And it sounds like you feel that is heavy. It doesn't sound like you're inspired that is something you want to do. So I think they're big enough to take that responsibility themselves. When you said that, it's me, I have to get them out of bed. That doesn't sound inspiring. Get some big body out of their bed,
Yeah, and I think, they do. Yeah. They have their own alarms, and I don't have to literally go and they set their own alarms, but they don't want to go. So that it's my job to
Well, you may need to explain why they need to go. You may need to explain so that you can feel this. The responsibility is taken off your shoulders. The responsibility for bodies, for form. Everyone, can learn to take that responsibility. It's for their lives. It's for their future. This is how the world thinks, for the future. But it seems guided for them to go to school, and that they will need to find that conviction that this is helpful. This is what I need to do. This is my job. Got a job. He takes the responsibility. This is their job for now. And your job is to stay in the right mind.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, that's made total sense. Yeah, it's just another area where I'm taking on the responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah, have some good talks about it, because I think this is a gradual shift. This is like getting out of the parent role. You're not really a mother, and that heaviness of taking responsibility for things that they can actually start to learn to take themselves. There are many things: washing their clothes, cleaning their rooms, making sure they have food. All those mother things, that you can see where you feel that the role is in charge versus when you feel inspired, guided, called.
Yeah.
But I think it's gradual to talk about it, to keep, because I remember I've talked to so many mothers, and I've been a mother, and some mothers were just like, I'm done bringing their dirty clothes, dirty socks from the floor all the time. And, suddenly there was this dawning, this is not my role. But they always had to have some good talks with the kids. Said, okay, now this is your responsibility. I'm going to teach, I'm going to show you how to do it, but you have to take it on now, because this is going to help them their whole lives.
Yeah.
And not to think that it's a long life, because this lesson, only an instant does this world endure, and that's the truth. But that can only be experienced from joy, how quick it passes.
Yeah. So I do feel like that is happening. That has been happening over the last 18 months, but it does feel probably that what you've just said, it does feel like a big, long, drawn-out process, a little bit at a time here. And yeah.
Now you could take 4 days where you teach them everything.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it probably ties in with yesterday was quite a challenging day. A lot of old resentments coming up, going out to work, and all the resentments that brought up for him, and me feeling like, oh, I'm stuck at home and I need to clean and cook, and yeah, a lot of old stuff came to the surface.
Probably why you feel sick.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want.
No,
there's guilt as well, because
yeah.
there's guilt for going out 5 days a week, and it's quite, it's manual work, it's hard work, and
yeah. Well, ask the Holy Spirit for guidance. What is my role? And then do it lightly. Do it for awakening, not to sustain some bodies. That's not enough. That's why you feel heavy. It feels heavy in your mind because you do it for bodies, but you need to ask for guidance and do it for forgiveness and awakening and for your right-mindedness. If neither of those are filled, you don't do it. Sit, allow your feelings to come up and work through it. And then, just practice being guided with it.
Yeah.
Because the only gift given comes from inspiration. If it is to sustain bodies, it's not really a gift. It comes from anger then and fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because it kind of feels like the things I was preaching to that job for the money and you're not doing, but really that's what I need to for myself.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And it is step by step. He wrote to me, he just needed to clean auto parts, and he seemed a bit disappointed. But there's also, it is for forgiveness and mind watching. I've done many monotonous tasks, and to allow anger to come up, to see how angry I am, and the anger seemed to come from doing those boring tasks. But it's never the real cause. I'm never upset for the reason I think. I'm upset because I see something that is not there. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. So it's okay to, while we heal, to do these things too. But it's the real joy comes from doing it from inspiration and through forgiving the form.
Yeah, we did have a lovely joining last night, and then there was anger came up this morning, and we just, I don't know, I feel different around it. I feel like I'm not going to choose conflict. I don't want. Yeah.
Thank God. It's very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, anyone else have something to share? Peter.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Just feels like the first time I've had I feel some inner understanding of the title of the lesson. Only an instant does this world endure. So yeah, it sort of reminds me that I'm only here to explore the obstacles I've created between me and the truth, and And that only needed less than an instant for God to create. I never really kind of understood all that. And, you know, we forgot to laugh and all that stuff. I mean, and that kind of happened this morning. So we had some expression, and then, but it turned to anger. It did for me, and there was some truths. I spoke some truths for me, and which I didn't even really know were there. So I saw more clearly the being in a holy relationship and the value of it. And Solveig went off, which in my mind was fucking typical, you know. But she came back, and I felt humble. I feel so grateful for that. And I know that probably took a lot to do. And it felt like a lot of courage and application. And it made sense because I can feel this rage that's welling up, and I've been holding it down. And I was able to express it. And okay, so it's mine, but it felt like a release. Part of my comment was on her smallness, her victim place. And it was about morality. I watched a TV program, a satirical thing last night, and she didn't watch it, and I didn't invite her to watch it. And there was a whole load of stuff of neediness between us that hadn't been expressed. And but I saw also in what I was saying to her, and I do know this, but it was so much clearer, this moral place, this moral egoic place. And that's what this program is about. There's people.
We don't have to analyze what it was.
Okay.
All the things around it. I love the insight you had, you know, what you started out with. It's really cool, really beautiful. And the reflection of Solveig coming back, you know, humbly wanting to, you know, release whatever anger she had, you know, that's beautiful. You guys rock.
Well, it felt key, and I got to see my own rage better. I got to see my own hypocrisy, if you like, where I'm blaming. I could see my victim and my victimizer, and okay, and I felt kind of accepted more in that place, and wow, that feels amazing.
Yeah. And when you're onto this, you know, the metaphysics of this, that only an instant does this world endure, and the other quote you said, yeah, this is it. This is the moment by moment decision.
Yeah.
For right-mindedness, and let the whole world be used for that. Whatever you perceive, in the moment, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not that peaceful at the moment because it's bottled up. And so actually I saw the value of relationships, which is so core to the course. It's not like I didn't know that, but I experienced it viscerally inside of me. Like it really working in action, this healing. And I feel so grateful for it.
Yeah.
That allowance, there was kind of a deep allowance. And I mean, I'm just speaking for me, Solveig can speak for herself.
You said you were bottled up, but I think it sounds pretty good there.
Yeah, it's coming out, but there is a bottling up. I have intense neediness. Like yesterday, didn't eat as much, simply eating. And then last night was like intense, and so I went and had some cornflakes, and I thought, you know, and I'm trying to be kind with myself with it, but it's just like intense neediness. And then the cat this morning is just all over the place with her neediness, and I can't blame her, really, you know.
Well, try to take it with spirit first now today. The neediness. Give yourself a little time to look at it before you follow it into whatever it's telling you to get.
Into the addiction,
Yeah.
I did that earlier in the day at one point. I did, and I was feeling all over the place, and I just sat with it, and I was crabby and so thank you. I mean, I didn't do that, and I knew I wasn't doing that. I knew I had an option last night. I feel really angry with myself that I let myself down, you know, and let everybody else down, and
just call for forgiveness, not
God down. Yeah, I can see
it.
Thank you. I think that's. I feel like a real opening, a real possibility, because otherwise it can feel really hopeless. Sometimes.
Feels good, Peter.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anne?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
This is a strange place, but it's okay. Something happened, which I think Jenny and Barret know about yesterday, and I lost a whole heap of work that I'd done, and I generally in the world have quite a reaction to that. And there was no reaction there. And I kind of panicked because there was no reaction. It's like, oh, what if it's going to come later? There was the doubt thought. But it's like, I just stayed with it. And it's like, there actually is nothing there. I'd have to create a reaction. But it feels a bit weird that there's no reaction. It's like, oh, it is that passing cloud. It just sort of went by. And the only reason I'm speaking it out is that if there's any element of doubt that actually I don't have to react, I can let it pass. I just want to place any of that on the altar. But it's just this this is what I want. This is really what I want, you know, to be peaceful, whatever's going on. And yet it just feels a little bit strange just at the moment. So I don't know if you can speak to that at all, but I'm okay, and I know I'm okay.
It feels really good, and it feels like something to get used to. That peaceful presence of not reacting, you know, let the world fall apart. I don't want to sing that song, but there is that song, you know. Let the world around us fall apart. We can do it if we're heart to heart.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's the lesson too today. Just let it pass. And I've had that often. And also, you know, you seem to do something that is truly helpful, and then you lose it. You may have worked on it for a week or many days, you know. And it's like, oh wow, what is this for, you know? And you feel you have to start over, but it's just to also undo the striving, ambition and striving, you know. That's two big beliefs.
Yeah, I do have that sense of like, you know, the Buddhists and the mandalas and just, wiping it all out.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe Spirit wants you to hear it again, whatever you're typing, whatever subtitles you're, working on. Your mind has called it forth to hear it again. So
it's interesting because the one that I started to work with yesterday, thinking I'd almost finished it, it's a subtitle. It's about guilt around food and food and distractions, like TV and things like that. So
okay. Yeah.
It's good to go back.
You're proud to take that one again, yeah. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vanessa?
Yeah, maybe if I share can help me, because I got stuck. Like, it's difficult. It seems to be difficult to apply this. I'm not upset for the reason that I think. It's like, yeah, I'm upset for the reason I think. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I feel affected by the way how Jonas, he deal with when I'm sleeping. He doesn't care. I keep saying, Jonas, please be careful with the noise. He makes a lot of noise, and yeah, that just. I'm expressing that. I might feel angry because I believe that this small thing can make me feel like this. I feel so vulnerable. Like, oh my gosh, how can I believe that this small thing can take my peace away? Can take
my smoking.
Small things.
Small things. Yeah. Don't close the door and just the way how the guy is walking now, resting his feet instead of just anger and
it's about forgiveness for sure, and release the world from what I thought it was, release perception and still rest. With relationships, they will offer those opportunities for so many forgiveness lessons of what you don't want. And yet you can communicate. I appreciate if you can be as silent as you can through those hours, or when I sleep, or so it's okay to have that communication, but still it's a lesson to look at the anger, whatever the anger seems to be directed to, no matter what seems to cause it. Because if you're angry, you have identified with an illusion. And there's nothing else, that's it. If I'm angry, I've identified with an illusion. Because in truth, anger is never justified. That's the good news. So, to keep working through releasing the anger, and communicate, because it's not about suppressing anything. So while you do the forgiveness work, to also allow yourself full open communication with your partner.
Yeah, but Sometimes I think I need to give him the same coin. I don't know if it is kind of saying you can understand me, but I feel so he cannot listen to me. That sometimes make me think that okay, then tomorrow I'm going to do the same. This revenge thought, but I don't know if it's revenge or if it's really helpful, because maybe he can understand, because he appreciates so much when he's sleeping. Like everything has to be quiet and don't turn on the light, don't make noise. And but when with me, it's not he cannot think the same way. And then I say, wow, maybe I need to show him, and maybe he needs to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, Jonas, you're waving. I think, this is your next steps, Jonas, your mind training, to think as if it is you laying there sleeping. Give it, it's one mind. So you're laying there sleeping, you don't want noise. You will close the door quietly. You will, think of one-mindedness, Jonas. That can be a very helpful mind training lesson.
Yeah, the thing is that I am doing that. I really try my best to be aware every night. And when we are in a room where right now I'm sleeping on the floor, Vanessa is sleeping on a bed like a meter on top. And then when I take my water, for example, I had to put it up on the window beside Vanessa. And yesterday I thought, okay, maybe it's more practical that I have the water bottle down beside my mattress. And then when I came in at night after the toilet, sat down and hit the water bottle. Or one day I came in and I wouldn't turn on the light, and then I stumbled on the closet. But I am doing my very, very best to be mindful and to be quiet, because I know how fucking annoying it is. But there is also just a boundary. There's a limitation to, since I wake up at night a few times and I have to pee, sometimes I make a mistake and I hit a closet, or I try to do my best. And
maybe drink less in the evening. But you can also use flashlight. You can see what works. Yeah, your phone. Like, not in her eyes. Use it just so you see where you go, so you don't hit things.
Yeah.
But just pray about the practicals of things, Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah.
I also have a question.
Okay.
Or actually, first I also wanted to express, because I'm also afraid of moving too much in the meditation, because yesterday she expressed that she didn't like that. So this morning I could see that, when I have a pain on my back, I need to move, for example. And then now it's not just that I need to move. Now there is a guilt thought, like, oh, there is another person here that don't like I need to move. So there is a that turns into my own self-judgment, like, fuck, why do I need to move? So I just wanted to hand that over really quickly. And maybe go to my question. I don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is about making music, because I feel like Vanessa said to me a week ago or two that, if I don't put any music out, it's just a hypothetical in my mind. And I thought it was actually I have received some kind of different persons, different situations calling me maybe to take this call on myself a little more, to try to give my voice to spirit and try to be a little more serious with it or whatever. And I'm not sure how to go about it and how to discern in this thing, because I like it, but I also have resistance. For example, now I'm trying to record music, and let's say after 20 minutes, I feel, okay, now I feel tired, I want to rest. But it's like, will I go through it? Or if I'm sitting with the computer programming something, and it's like the nervous system feels annoying, but at the same time, I know that that's just a thought. That on one level, I could say, I just need to go through it and transcend it. Look. On the other level, I could say, oh, it doesn't feel good. Maybe it's not guided. So I'm confused, but I just try to be gentle.
I think you need to extend it to feel joy from it. Like in the moment, be in the moment. If you feel inspired, maybe you do a Facebook Live and share a song too while you put your recorder on. You know, something like that. You extend, you know, just let spirit show you the way. How to extend it. Yeah. 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 Yeah, maybe it's time to. So we can wrap up the rest of the session and wish you guys a wonderful practice of only an instant does this world endure. Thank you.